Hi, good evening. So here I'm going to be doing this video this evening for you. I promised you all yesterday that I would do this one today for the men. So this evening I'm going to be talking in particular about erectile dysfunction and building sperm count. Now, I thought about it because families, persons, marriages, people, couples are in isolation now. It's a good time to get to know your partner, good time to get to know your family members, because often a lot of us are like just too busy for each other, too busy for the family, too busy even for the kids. So this is a very good time for family if we can take advantage of being able to be home and to be able to focus not only on ourselves but on the members of our family, focus on each other. So yes, it's a time for couples to get to know one another again, and it's like a time for, I would say, for those who didn't get a chance to have a honeymoon, you can work on that now. So yeah, all right, this is a sensitive topic for couples, especially for men. So I'm addressing the men, infertility and erectile dysfunction in this video. I will speak to the women at another time, but one of the things is that women find it easier to talk about things like this, to go to a doctor or even to talk to somebody that is close. More often than not, it's something that is uncomfortable for the men to address because it goes to the core of their manhood. Okay, their ego is attached to their performance, and their emotions, yeah, is quite attached. So it is something that I want to address. And as I said, it's a sensitive topic, but of course there are a lot of men who are struggling out there, a lot of them. I decided to do this one because since I started doing the videos, when I did the one with ashwagandha and Sisandra and elderberry, and I did mention endurance in that video, I got quite a bit of response from that, and I had friends who shared it and told me the response was good, but there was a lot of response from the men, from men in particular, on this issue. So I realize it's really something that we need to talk about, especially in the church. I don't think it's talked about. So yeah, so we go, we have a good time. A lot of people, we have a good time there in church, but then we have these issues that are unaddressed and that really need to be spoken about, right? All right, so one of the things, all right, I'm trying to figure which one should I address first, because erectile dysfunction and sperm count is not necessarily one and the same. Okay, erectile dysfunction is being able to hold an erection, but sperm count it speaks to the quality of the sperm and the motility of the sperm. So yes, the person is able to ejaculate, but the sperm count is low. And the motility rate, like, how agile the sperms are, if they're able to swim, up, as well as talking about the morphology, which refers to the quality of the sperm. Do they have a tail? Is the shape, normal or abnormal? One thing that our men need to understand is that heat is not your friend when it comes to your sperm count. Which is why the scrotum is on the outside of the body, makes it cooler. Okay, so that's the reason God put it outside, so for it to maintain a cooler temperature. All right, so that's important. So heat there is not your friend. So that being said, our men need to understand there has been a big issue with sperm count in the last few years, because, and you can check that for yourself, it's something that you need to look more into, since the cell phone usage has increased so drastically. A lot of men sperm count have decreased. Why? They carry the cell phones in their pockets, or some on their waistband with those little pouches for the cell phone, but then all that heat and radiation is damaging the sperm. It's one of the first cells that get damaged by radiation. So you want to be very careful not taking your cell phones in your pocket, or putting it on your belt, on your waist. Men need to understand that. If you're working with your computer, you don't want to be putting your laptop to sit in your laps. Understand that Wi-Fi is not a friend of your sperm. When we get that, then when we understand that, then we better know how to protect ourselves or our men from these things. And wives, you have a big role to play in reminding them and helping them to protect their sperm count. All right, another thing that is important to understand is that it doesn't get, when you're talking about sperm count, you're taking like 2 or 3 months to build it up. So it is not a sprint, and 3 months isn't really a marathon if you're trying to heal your body, or you're trying to detox or rid yourself of disease. 3 months really isn't a long time, but for some people, they want an answer now, like a quick remedy or a quick answer. But for that, you have to be in it for the long haul, and also use the knowledge that you acquire going forward. So you're not going to fix something now and then you go back to damaging habits after that. So it must become your lifestyle. From the information that you gather, you want to make this your lifestyle. This is your way going forward. So you're looking at 2 to 3 months if you're trying to build your sperm count naturally. Not saying that it cannot happen before that, but give yourself a very fair time. So you don't start supplementing, eating right, dropping some of the habits, and 1 week time you're like, oh, this doesn't work. I thought it was gonna work. It doesn't work. So you go back. No, that's not how it works. All right. So for sperm count, one of your biggest friend will be zinc. You definitely want to be supplementing on zinc. You need between like 30 to 50 milligrams per day. So you definitely want to make zinc your friend. A lot of persons whose sperm count is low, they're deficient in that mineral, right? And that is proven by research. Several data is out there on that. But along with the zinc, you want to be supplementing on folic acid, all right, in the methyl form. So that's your zinc and your folic acid. And I say to you, these two are, a must have. Another thing that you want to be eating a lot of is eggs and seafood, right? Very good for building the sperm. From the egg, you get the vitamin B12, you get your protein, you get your amino acids. All right, so lots of egg and lots of seafood. And when you think about it, you might remember back in the day, you remember seeing your daddy, making these things with the raw egg and the seafood. Even now people do that. Especially like you go in a Japanese store, Japanese restaurant, there's just a lot of raw seafood. Yes, seaweeds, all of these things, eels, squid, very good for building sperm count. So you want to be supplementing, you want to be adding a lot of fish to your diet. Very important. Bitter chocolate, which is the dark chocolate, that is very good for helping to build with your sperm count. So you definitely want to be adding that more to your diet. L-arginine, I won't be able to say enough about that. And not just because there are some things that build the sperm count. There are some things that helps with erectile dysfunction, but it doesn't necessarily build the sperm count. When it comes to L-arginine, it both helps with an erection and it also helps to build the sperm count. So when it comes to sperm count, it's not just the amount, right? But what is important is the quality of the sperm. So you're not just talking about building the amount, but you want to make sure that the the sperm, you want to build the quality of the sperm. So you're talking about L-arginine. You want to definitely write that one down, and that is both for sperm count and erectile dysfunction. You're talking about your garlic. Lots of garlic. From that you get your selenium, and you also get your sulfur. If you are able to, you can also add the selenium, because I tend to like to supplement in addition to the diet, because with the soil and all of that, we're not getting as much as we should or used to from most of what we eat. So supplementing is adding to what we're already eating to make sure that we really have enough. So you can supplement on the selenium, and you're talking about between 100 to 200 milligram per day. You want to be careful with the selenium. You don't want to be taking too much of that. So you have your garlic. You can, do your garlic and honey, like 3 cloves of garlic and honey, and you have that before going to sleep at night. The honey will give you a good sleep. Pomegranate, in Jamaica we call it panganut. Very, very good for both erectile dysfunction and building sperm count. So I remember back in the days we had a lot of that. My grandmother had a tree in her front yard. I don't know if it's there as much as it used to be, but you want to definitely be finding the pomegranate or drinking the juice. If you can find the fruit, you want to just eat the fruit, lots of it. If you can't, and you can find the drink, you want to be drinking your pomegranate. You're talking about your bananas. There you have your potassium, you have your vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is everything in everything, if you understand what I'm saying. Men, you need loads of vitamin C. It helps to fight oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is one of the things that really destroys the sperms, right? Because when there's oxidative stress in the body, you're talking about free radicals just having a ball, multiplying, and that is destroying the sperms in your body, destroying the sperm cells. So you want to reduce oxidative stress, which is why you need a lot of antioxidant, and vitamin C is very, very high in antioxidant. Bromelain. Now from pineapples you get your bromelain. If you don't have the pineapples, of course you can find the bromelain pills online, and there are other fruits that has the bromelain, but it's really high in pineapples. So you want to be eating a lot of pineapples, okay? And remember, for the fruits you don't eat, you can juice. I don't eat melon, but I'll drink the juice. I don't eat cucumbers, but I'll juice it and I'll enjoy, a drink, a cucumber drink. Walnuts, you want to be having your nuts. You're talking about melon. Now, one of the things you can do, not just with building the sperm count, but for erectile dysfunction, you can juice the melon with your lemon, all right? But what you're gonna do is you're not gonna, all right, the white part that is on the melon, and I'm trying to describe it pretty well, like you're gonna peel off the skin, like the green part, but you're gonna leave quite a bit of the white that's between, the red part of the fruit and the green part of the skin. So you're gonna leave a lot of the white there. You be careful how you peel the outer layer off, and make sure you're leaving a lot of the white in it. Okay, you can juice it without the seeds. You can also juice it with the seeds. Remember that our seeds are very, very important, and for persons with hypertension problem, you really want to be having a lot of your fruit seeds and not throwing them away. Okay, so you want to juice the melon, and you're going to do the same thing with your lemon. You're going to peel the lemon, take off the outer peel, but you're going to leave as much of that white part on the outer layer of it as possible. And you just, you do your juice. For those who don't want to, and melon is sweet, so you may not even need to add any honey at all. Remember, you want to be cutting down on your sugar for everything, not just sperm count or erectile dysfunction, for everything, because sugar increases inflammation in the body a great deal, and we have to remember that it also lowers our immune system. So you don't want to be adding sugar. So we don't eat for the taste. our food is our medicine, and we have to get away from eating just for the taste. So, okay, it's not sweet enough, but you know what? This is good for me. So you definitely, the melon is very, very good for erectile dysfunction, and it's also very good for the brain. Persons with low sperm count often are found to be deficient in vitamin A, so you want to be supplementing on your vitamin A, which you can get from your nuts, your seeds, and your oils. Okay, you want to stay away from soy oil, and you want to be using your coconut oil or your vegetable oils, olive oil. All right, you have asparagus, that's a vegetable. You have broccoli. You want to be eating a lot of vegetables. You want to stay away from the flour, the rice, as much as you can. But you really want to be eating a lot of vegetables to be building up your sperm count. All right, your stress hormones. Now, when it comes to stress hormones, it's bad for everything. You don't want it to be there for an extended period of time. All right, remember, it has its role that it plays, but if it is there in our body for too long, it will start doing damages. So we don't want cortisol, which is why persons who are involved in very rigorous exercise for more than at least 4 times for the week, they have problems with their sperm count, because again, you're talking about the cortisol levels being increased in your body for extended period of time, and it will do damage to your body. So your stress hormones will be produced at the expense of your sex hormones, which is why, and it's just the way the body works. This is why if you are stressed on the job, or going through an extremely rough time, and that period is just so stressful, and you're releasing this cortisol for like months, weeks, you find that your sex drive or your libido is lowered. So you produce your stress hormones at the expense of your sex hormones. So if you had to choose, you tell me which you would choose. So that simply means that you need to try to make sure that your body is mainly in a rest and digest state. You're resting. Go to bed. Your rest is your friend, men. You need to try to go to your bed early. Make sure you get your sleep in. That is very important. You do not want your body to be in a stressed state. A lot of men, they're low in sperm counts because of stress on the job. Having problem with erectile dysfunction because of a very stressful lifestyle. And some of our men are just so busy. They're always just going, always at it. You want to be able to find time to rest, and to rest properly, so that your body can rejuvenate. When it comes to rest, you want to be in bed like about by 10 p.m. There are 4 hours sleep that is very crucial to you. It's the hours between 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's when the melatonin in our body is at its highest levels, and that we know is the hormone that helps us to sleep. Now, when it comes to erectile dysfunction, it's really a hormone issue, and it affects a lot of areas. So it's not necessarily say any one thing. There's a lot of things that you have to look at. If a doctor is working with you, say a holistic doctor or a Chinese medicine doctor, if they're going to be looking at you, they would have to like take a history, see what your environment is like, see what your stress levels are like. They want to see, the kind of environment that you work in, because there are so many things that could attribute to, a lowered sperm count. One such thing, it could be metal poisoning, which could be from your environment. It could be that you had those metal fillings in your teeth. You're talking again about metal poisoning. So somebody who is going to be working with you would have to go through your history, understand what could be causing it, and then they design a protocol that works for you. So it might be your job environment, it might be where you're living. All of that would have to be factored in. Those things are important. And then with that, they would have to do like a detox It might be a detox from metal poisoning that you may need to do before they can put you onto the supplements or helping you with the change of diet. So as I said, there's a lot that goes into consideration with a doctor who is truly working with you to fix the situation long term. So it's not just about just prescribing you some Viagra or some Cialis that works, and they have their own problem, because if the erection lasts longer than 4 hours, from the Viagra, you're going to have to be in a hospital, okay, to get that fixed. So these are some of the things that we have to understand. According to UCLA, right, there's a study they did. It says 40% of the time the men are responsible for infertility in the relationship. And very often, I said that in my video before, we look at the women, we think we're not having a child, we're not getting pregnant because my wife is infertile. But sometimes the issue is really with the men. Why is it good to look at the history again that a health professional would do? Because it could be an issue for the men. It might be the environment you're working in. So therefore, I can work with you only to fix it. But from your history, I might find out it's where you're living. You know, there are a lot of, the environment is very toxic. Not just for you. If it's metal poisoning, it's for you and your spouse. Therefore, both of you would need to detox. So you get what I'm saying? On one hand, I may have to work with you alone. On another hand, I might have to work with both of you. So it is, you really do need to get a history. So it is just not one size fit all. And this is why you would really need a professional to work with you on it timely. All right. I mentioned before not keeping your laptops on your lap. You want to be clear of the radiation. If you're putting up, like when you're getting Wi-Fi in your house, try not to put the box or the port, whatever they call it, in your bedroom. Try leave that in the living room, because radiation emitting from it is not your friend. If, as much as possible, don't keep your cell phone too close to your body, especially to your lower body. That's for our men. You can go, please, I beg you do, and search more on that, how radiation is really significantly affecting sperm count and why the infertility rate has gotten much higher among our men. All right. I did say to you that the heat kills sperm, so you want to be careful about your hot water bath, especially if you're trying to have kids or those who like the warm jacuzzi and all that. You want to stay away from that for the period of time that you're trying to have a child. You want to be careful about wearing more loose-fitting briefs so that your scrotum and that area can be cooler. That is exactly why God put it outside of the body. So you want a diet very high in antioxidant, your fruits, your berries, your strawberries, blackberry, blueberry, you know, all of that. So it can be killing the free radicals in your body. Overweight is an issue that also causes sperm count to be lowered. If you're overweight, you want to work with a dietitian to help you to put together a diet that's right for you, that can help you to lose the weight, not too fast. You want to lose the weight in a very healthy way and timely. And most people who just take up a diet for the sake of taking up a diet tend to put on the weight back very fast in no time. All right. So you don't want to just, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds this month, because your body going to start crying out after a while, and then you're going to start overeating, and then the weight is back on. But you want to do it in a timely manner. So your body gets used to it. All right. Your hormones need to be at a very optimal level. So this is why you're going to work with a trained professional to see, what your hormone levels are like, what are you eating, maybe eating things that lower your testosterone level. They could work with you on a diet to get you eating the things that are right for you and that will build your testosterone. Maybe you're eating too much thing that is high in estrogen, or like a lot of phytoestrogen that acts like estrogen in the body. That is also something that is important, and that's why the zinc is also very important, because it prevents your testosterone from converting into estrogen. So you really want to be on your zinc. Okay, men, let zinc be your friend, and zinc will work best with you with folic acid. So add some folic acid. And we hear so much about folic acid, but we only hear about it when women are pregnant. They go to the doctor, I'm pregnant, okay, here's some Materna and some folic acid, and that's when we hear about it. But our men also need it for quality sperm count. Okay, what else do I need to say? I spoke about your rest that you really need to make rest your friend. It's very important that you sleep well, that you do a little exercise, like a little walking, might be swimming, might be jogging. Not overdoing it again, because overdoing exercise, as I said to you, will raise your cortisol levels. And if your cortisol level is raised for a long time, again, that hormone can be very damaging. And then you're going to find your body in stress and developing other kinds of diseases as well. All right, one of the things that cause sperm count to be lowered in some of our men, it might be steroids. Say you were asthmatic and you were getting like those steroid pumps. It could be that, those asthma inhalers, maybe steroid, some form of hydrocortisone. You're talking about persons dealing with skin issues, like some form of, you might have gotten a cortisone injection. You might be dealing with skin issues like eczema, and one of the things you were given to treat it was some kind of steroid. Again, you might have to find a doctor that can work with you to detox these things from your system. So even though you might not be on the steroids now, but I was on a steroid treatment probably a year or two ago, that might still be inhibiting your sperm count. So it's good to work with somebody who can help you to detox and then put you on a protocol that helps you to build your sperm count. Boys who got mums, I haven't heard about that forever, but boys who got mums will have sperm count issues. Not everyone, but yes, a lot of them. If you're a drinker, you want to really be careful with alcohol. It is not your friend when it comes to your sperm count. You're talking about smokers, you're talking about pesticides. So if you're working with a lot of pesticide, and let me tell you, with pesticide, you see, when you buy your fruits and your food, you want to when you come home, you want to really soak what can be soaked in your apple cider vinegar, or you want to just wash them or spray them with your apple cider vinegar. I was working with some garlic recently and I had it in the apple cider vinegar, and it's amazing to see the color just changed. Why? Because of the pesticides and the chemicals that they use to grow these things. So yes, even though sometimes we take up stuff and say it's organic, sometimes it's not truly organic, it's just the labeling. So you really want to be very careful with the labels and the companies that we purchase stuff from. So I did mention the metal detox. You might need to get a detox from heavy metal poisoning, from the kind of roll-ons that you wear. If it has aluminum in it, then you have that kind of poisoning as well that you might need a detox from. If you had an STD, all of that, sometimes it was untreated, and these are things lingering in your body, though it seemed to be dormant, but it might be hindering your sperm count. You're talking about yeast and candida. You want to when it comes to yeast and candida, it's easy to know if there's an overgrowth in your body. You can look at your tongue. So you can do a test where you, in the mirror, on your own, for your own self, just stick your tongue out, look at the color of your tongue. A pink tongue means that a person has a pretty healthy body, or really close to healthy, right? A nice pink tongue. If you find that when you stick your tongue out, there is a lot of phlegm on it, or a white coating, then you know that there is yeast inside the body. You're dealing with an overgrowth of yeast or candida. That can be treated, easily. I have the coptis that I tell you about. I think I mentioned the coptis in the first video. It's a Chinese antibiotic. They're pellets. It's used in homeopathic medicine as well as Chinese medicine. You can purchase that, and you can get it on Amazon to order. And that is a very, very good antibiotic. You can take like 6 pellets at a time, probably 3-4 times for the day, all right, and until you clear your system up. Cheap ways to get rid of candida. You can use your apple cider vinegar for at least 3 to 7 days. Your apple cider vinegar mixed with baking soda. The amount of things that can help you with, it's amazing. So it will kill the overgrowth of yeast or candida in the body. If you have hypertension problem, you want to be very careful with using the baking soda. Remember, people are afraid of it, but your body naturally produces sodium bicarbonate. Your body produces it, okay? So yes, you can, like in an 8-ounce bottle of water, you can put like a half a teaspoon or less of baking soda and 1 or 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, which neutralizes it. And you can take that in the mornings. And then throughout the day, you just keep drinking a lot of water. You can take it at mornings and night, depends on how much overgrowth you're dealing with. I wouldn't advise you to go past 7 days, and it really clears you up. And if while you're clearing up the inside, you can be also clearing up the outside by using it in your bath, okay? So you can use it when taking a shower. It also clears up the yeast on the body, because when it's growing much on the inside, it tends to start growing on the outside, which is when most people know that they have a yeast overgrowth, is when they start itching. They may have a crotch itch, and that is when they realize, oh, I have yeast, or this overgrowth of candida. Another thing which is pretty cheap and very good for dealing with the candida is oregano oil. Now, I did mention it is very strong. You can put a few drops in a capsule, empty capsule, but you want to mix it with a carrier oil like olive oil or coconut oil, and you can take 1 pill. Don't fill the capsule with the oregano oil. You just want to be half or less, because it's harsh on the inside, and you will have to drink a lot of water with it throughout the day. They'll tell you not to ingest oregano oil. That's something that I've taken myself, and not just for yeast, for high cholesterol. It really does work for a lot. So it really cleans you up, cleans up your gut on the inside. So that's the oregano oil. But remember, it's very strong, and if you take too much, you may have to go drink some milk, but it's very strong. So you want to, when you have those empty capsule casing, you do not want to do a half unless it's something you've tried before. So you do a half or less, and you fill the rest of it with a carrier oil. Usually I don't even fill it with the carrier oil. I just make sure it's just a half that I'm using. How my husband does it, he will put the oregano oil, if he has like a bottle of it, he'll like probably pour out a half into something else and then fill the other half of the bottle with the carrier oil. So that way his thing is just always mixed and ready for use. So that is one way you can use the oregano oil to get rid of candida or yeast. Colloidal silver, brilliant, amazing, works wonders for clearing up internal bacteria within the gut, within the body. You don't want to take it for too long, because you do not want, while it will kill the bad bacteria, it will also kill the good bacteria. So you don't want to be taking it for more than 7 days, because you do not want to destroy the good gut bacteria in your body. Another thing as well, and I'm just talking about natural things that I can just remember that is very cheap. The hydrogen peroxide, again, that is very strong, and excess of it will work as oxygen in the body. So that is good. It helps with our blood flow and all that. So kills disease. So with the hydrogen peroxide, usually I'll put like 3 drops in an 8-ounce bottle of water and drink it. Because every now and again, what I try to do is make sure I am detoxing my body. So even if I don't see any symptoms of anything, I just like back in the day when we had to get a washout, every now and again I try to do that, whether with the baking soda or the apple cider vinegar, or I'll use the hydrogen peroxide or the oregano oil, and make sure I'm just, that nothing is overgrowing and on the inside. So I try that way to kind of detox for myself, to keep myself clean from funguses inside. You're talking about mold. Sometimes we have mold growing on the inside that cause a lot of problem and complications for us. Varicose vein, which is vein in the scrotum, that also will cause sperm count to be low, because you're talking about a large vein, blood flows through a vein, that is causing a lot of heat in the area, okay? And that also affects the sperm count, though some people think otherwise. But yeah, you can do your own reading, and I encourage you, read what this person think, what that person think. Read opposing ideas and read lots of it, and then you can come to your own informed decision. All right, you definitely want to be supplementing on your magnesium and vitamin C. Everybody knows that's something I advocate for all the time. You want to be on it. You want to be on your vitamin D, because vitamin D really helps to prevent depression. A lot of people are depressed. Most people who are depressed are also deficient in their vitamin D. You see, this time when they're telling everybody for lock in the house, if you're not careful, it will be a lot of depressed people after a while, because we're locked inside and we're not getting the sunlight. So it's not like because we're just watching the news, you're not getting the sunlight. We need a little sunlight. Since you're not getting the sunlight, this is a time vitamin C is a must for you to help you to fight depression. Magnesium protects both the DNA and the RNA of the sperm. So you're talking about the quality of the sperm, which is important. You want your vitamin C's, as I said, lots of it. You want at least 2,000 milligrams per day. Vitamin C. As I said in my first video, when you're taking too much vitamin C, you will have a diarrhea. So you'll definitely know. So if you take 3 and it gives you a diarrhea, you want to go down to 2 pills, all right? Like 2 1,000 milligram pills. Outside of that, you really have nothing to worry about. It helps to prevent the multiplication of the free radical in your body, helps to fight disease. You want your fatty acid, you want to eat a lot of salmon, a lot of fish, a lot of seafood, and this also helps with your brain functioning, all right? So there are some things that we have to reduce to keep the sperm count good. The motility rate, the morphology rate, very important. You're talking about how it moves, its movement and its quality. All right, so we don't want the sluggish movement. They need to get to the egg in a certain time. So yes, so you want to lower your sugar intake and your dairy intake. Sugar and dairy will increase inflammation in the body. All right, like you're talking about milk, cheese, you want to reduce your intake, your rice, your flour, alcohol. Again, alcohol is not your friend, and caffeine. So you want to reduce those things while you're trying to build up your sperm count, all right? When you do these things and you realize they work, you know this is something I need to continue, all right? A doctor shouldn't need to tell you that. We should continue on it. So yes, all right, so we reduce the oxidative stress. which is damaging to the sperm count by remaining on what? A lot of antioxidant or vitamin C, which is very high in it, or bananas or berries or fruits, cherry, mango, everything you can think of kind of fruit. All right, because we do not want free radicals to be having a ball or a heyday in our bodies, because the sperm cells are very, very delicate cells. All right, now I think I've spent a long time and I haven't even talked about erectile dysfunction, but understand that is a circulation problem. All right, so as long as you can get the blood to be circulating in your body, you will circulating right in your body, then you will have a good erection. So remember, the erection has a lot to do with blood circulation. So most of the herbs that you would supplement on for a good erection are herbs that help to improve blood flow. One of the things we realize is that men with diabetes, men with heart problem, men with you're talking about the diabetes, you're talking about the heart, you're talking about hypertension, have problem with erectile dysfunction. All right, so one of the things you would want to do, if you have noticed those three I mentioned, and there are more because the list is not exhaustive here, but these diseases can be managed with diet. So why would you lose an erection simply for not managing your diet? That's the question you would need to ask yourself. So I say to persons with hypertension problem, all right, say diabetes, you need to start supplementing with your bitters. Try to do it every day. If not, 3 times the least per week, you need bitters in your diet. One of the reasons why so many people are suffering with diabetes now and our blood sugar levels are out of control, we've taken the bitters out of our diet. So add that back. Throw some Sirasi in your backyard so you can always benefit from picking it and just making your Sirasi tea every day. It will help you to control the diabetes. You're talking about the moringa, you're talking about the neem. Anything bitter, it will help you to control the diabetes. So you want to get on your bitter herbs as much as you possibly can. The hypertension. If you have an issue with hypertension, you want to, I talk about the infused water bottle. Mine is in the kitchen. I'm away from the kitchen right now. Right? It's a little cup. It's like about $20. You get it on Amazon or less. It has a tube in the middle. And it's like probably about 8 ounce or more. Say more than 8 ounce cup. All you need to do, which I do, this is how I get in my vitamin C, because those pills for me, the ester C, which I really love, they're so big. So I'll fill my cup with water and I throw my 2 vitamin C pills in it. I have that and I drink it throughout the day. I just make sure I drink off what is in it. So at least I know every day I still get in my vitamin C. So what you can do if you have a hypertension, get yourself one of those infused water bottles. In the tube, you can just drop the fruits that are good for you. Throw a lemon in there, half of a lemon, a lemon peel. You could throw a peg of garlic or 2 pegs of garlic in there, a little piece of ginger and your cucumber. You have that with you throughout the day. You drink it throughout the day. It helps you to control the hypertension. So these are just simple ways we can help ourselves with our diet or with controlling these kind of diseases naturally without any pills. All right. One of the things with persons who take the pills for hypertension, over time they have thyroid issues, right? 10-15 years later you go to the doctor, you're having thyroid problem. It's never like connected like, oh, because you've been taking this pill so long. No, they don't even realize that a part of the problem for taking these hypertension medication and cutting out your salt, which your thyroid needs the iodine. So 10-15 years you have thyroid issues, the next thing you know you have to do a surgery to cut the thyroids and all that, which, listen, you can just naturally understand your body, how it works, and take care of yourself. All right, so I'm going to run through the herbs because this video is already long, but I'm really trying to help our men because a lot of marriages are suffering, and they're going to suffer even more now that we're in isolation and we're home, okay? And people want to be making babies while they have the time to do so. So I'm trying to help you. And women, if you are listening to this video, you're able to help your spouse. You're able to go purchase. Now, when you go to the supermarket to get food, you know what to buy. All right, you know you need the bitter herbs for him. You need to help him. You need to help him to supplement. You know, you get the melon, you make the melon juice for him, and you give him that every evening with his dinner. Of course, you can add other stuff to it and be creative with it. So you want to do the melon and the lime only, fine. But if you want to add something, throw some strawberries, maybe a banana. Just be creative with it, but you want to make sure that you always have the main ingredient in it. So you want to be supplementing on DHEA, okay, write that down, talk to your doctors about that. Horny goat weed is one of the weed that you can herb, but I said weed and probably somebody thinking something else, all right? Let me use the right words, not get myself in trouble here. But horny goat weed is one of the herbs that you would want to supplement on. You can get it in powder form, okay, so you can put that in your juice. If you want, you can put, if it's a powder, you can put it in the empty capsules and take it in pill form. Or if you're not afraid of the powder, which is bitter, you can just mix it in your smoothie or make a drink with it. All right, so you want to check that out. Maybe it is growing in your backyard or over your neighbor backyard. So you know what, when you hear these names, please go Google, look what the plant look like and look if you can find it. Throw it in your backyard. Niacin, very good for blood flow, which is why it helps to grow the hair, the nails, all of that is good. Niacin, very, very good for blood flow, which is vitamin B3. Now you want to work with somebody to take vitamin B3, especially if you're afraid, okay? Because you want to start with like for the B3 like 50 milligram until you get used to it, because it has a flush. Now there's a type of niacin that doesn't have a flush, that really doesn't work well. So you want to stick with the one that gives you the flush. When you get that flush, you know it's working, it's going through your bloodstream. What happened? You feel that itchy, burny kind of feeling like a sunburn. But that is also a very good supplement for cholesterol, okay? So you want to check that out. You can use that to help to control high cholesterol, and that is vitamin B3, which is niacin. So you don't want niacinamide, which is the one without the flush. You really want to work with niacin and get used to the flush, okay? You can take it with milk if you want to reduce the flush. Make sure you always take it on a very full stomach, else you're gonna have a very hard flush. I've taken it up to 500 milligram. Sometimes the flush is hard for me, but sometimes not. Take it on a full stomach, all right? Red ginseng, very good for erectile dysfunction. If you want to have a nice erection, you want to really be experimenting with your ginseng, you want your niacin, you want your horny goat weed, L-arginine, men, let that be your friend. It really increases blood flow. That is very important. So you want to write these things down, okay? Black seed oil is another one. Ginkgo biloba, you're talking about stinging nettle leaf. Now this one is really, really good. It's good for a lot of things. It's good for building the sperm count. It's good for giving you a nice firm erection. You really want to try to experiment on that one right there. Plus it has a lot of other benefits. Wild yam. Now wild yam, you want to take it but in not too much of a high dosage, and you want to kind of work with like a doctor in it. It's not like it's harmful, but understand that wild yam also is rich in estrogen, okay? And it's a very good herb for the women. For women with low libido, you want wild yam. Fenugreek is also good for the men. So these are two herbs that are also good for women. In terms of women, if you want higher estrogen in your diet, you can supplement on fenugreek and wild yam. Now for those two herbs though, women, well, if you're in your 40s, if you're approaching menopause, you want to be careful of those without working with like a doctor on that, because at that stage of your life, you got to be careful how you experiment with hormones, because these are hormones, right? If you get too much estrogen in that time, you're talking about increasing your risk of cancer, and you're talking about fibroids and the things that you don't want. So that you want to talk with. But you will love Valium and fenugreek, women, okay? A really good. Another one is Vitex. You're talking about hormones. You're talking about Vitex. It balances your progesterone levels and your estrogen levels. So it's a very good one. And if you're having hot flashes, Vitex is really, really very good, and your evening primrose oil. So those I just mentioned for the women. For the evening primrose women, and this is not even for you, but I'm just dropping it in. You can, for persons with cyst, it will shrink the cyst. So you definitely want to check out your evening primrose if you're having cyst and you're trying to shrink them, whether in your breast, okay, or in your womb. You definitely want to be supplemented on your evening primrose. I have my testimony with that, but I'll talk to you when I'm speaking to the women, okay? All right, you're talking about ashwagandha, increases testosterone, men. This is really good for you. So you want to be definitely supplementing on your ashwagandha. Remember your astragalus. Remember you need lots of rest, lots of sleep. Don't let nobody disturb your peace, not on the job. When you come home, just find ways to rest and find ways to relax and unwind. You know, it's very important for our men to unwind, and women, give them chance to unwind, okay, when they come home from work. Medina, that is one of the bush that usually just run wild, has very, very good medicinal benefits, and it's also good for erectile dysfunction. Neem, your bitters, men, let your bitters be your friend. Bitters are really, really good. In addition, you see, it lowers it works for persons with hypertension to lower them, and also for persons with diabetes. So the bitters have several benefits. So you might be using it because you have a digestion problem, but you realize from that you're getting a good erection because you're using it. You realize from that you're improving your sperm count. You realize your diabetes the numbers are getting better, and you realize you're having better numbers with hypertension. Okay, so multiple benefits right there. So when you talk about the bitters, you're talking about neem, you're talking about Swedish bitters, you're talking about your Cersei, you're talking about aloe vera, you're talking about bitter melon. All right. Also, you want Panax ginseng, which is also called Korean ginseng. So this is just so much information. Now this one, Tribulus terrestus. All right. I hope I have the name right, but it's Tribulus terrestus. It was such a common little bush I used to see as a child growing up in Jamaica, just like all over the place. So common. It has a yellow flower, okay? Very, very good for erectile dysfunction. So you may want to plant that bush in your backyard, your front yard, at the side, you know, in some flower pot. You may want to have it hanging all over, but it has a nice yellow bloom. And there's another one, Damiana. That one also has a yellow bloom, and it's one of those that run wild. All right, when you're taking the stinging, I mentioned the stinging nettle leaf, it is best taken with palmetto, saw palmetto. So you want to supplement on, if you're taking the stinging nettle, you want to make sure that you're taking your saw palmetto with that. And those two together will work wonders for you. You want to remember, avoid your soy oil. You want to lower your cortisol level, which is your stress hormones. That is not your friend. You want to avoid high fructose corn syrup, right? Because it causes insulin resistance. All right. So those are some of the things you want to know, men, and I hope that will help you somewhat. So you can, all right. Did I mention maca? Maca root is your friend, and you can mix the maca root and ginger to make a juice, and it will work wonders. And let me tell you something. You see, with all this information I'm giving you, I want to hear the testimonies. Okay, wives, please find a way to contact me and say, I'm a happy woman. And this isolation kind of really worked for me, all right? So I'm hoping that you will take the information, write it down, do your own research. Remember, you can't get everything, just get whatever you can. If just the melon and the lemon, juice it together, that's fine. Your maca root and the ginger together, if it's that you can find, just go on having that, right? Medina, make sure you drink a lot of bitters, men. Very good for you. You will be happy you did that, you started including that in your diet. And sulfur bitters. So just take it in the mornings, 1 teaspoonful, and I'm sure you'll be a happier man, all right? And your wife will be glowing and like smiling all the time. Okay, so I hope that this video will help some couples, and that you will work together on this, and that ladies, you will help them to make those juices when you're doing your dinner, or maybe for lunch or your breakfast. And I hope that, you know, some of the issues that you've been faced with, that from the information that you gather here, you would have been helped. Please share it with your friends, with other couples you know, with your family member. And I've been getting testimonies already from the mango leaves, like people who've used it and who've used some of the other stuff I've mentioned in the other videos. And I'm usually happy to hear it, because I really have tons of testimonies from the different herbs and just changing my way of life and the way I eat. As though my husband does really better at this. I started this, but he has taken it over. And he's really a stickler to things and really way more disciplined than I am, because I still like to take risks. But I think you will benefit from this video this evening. Have a wonderful night. And please write the things down. Keep the information. Remember, it is not a sprint. It's a marathon. In terms of the erectile dysfunction, most of the times you will notice immediately, okay, when you use those herbs. But in terms of building the sperm count, which is different from just the erectile dysfunction, it will take you 2 to 3 months to see the numbers and the quality of the sperm improved. Don't be afraid to text or to call me. My number is 954-934-3317. I prefer text. So it's 954-934-3317. God bless you. Do have a good day. And share this with your marriage groups at church. All right. God bless. Bye.